Welcome to Spiritual Happy Hour. I am Joy Robey.
And I am Marilyn Harper, and we are here joining forces with the master, Randy Luna, whom you have already met.
Just to let you know, many times we substitute the word God for love because God doesn't care. After all, God is love. And Spiritual Happy Hour is inspired by A Course in Miracles, which we often refer to as ACIM. Thank you, Randy, for providing such beautiful, amazing music. We are so blessed to have that guy with us all the time. He always provides original music for Spiritual Happy Hour and some of our other programs as well. Adironda and the Council of Light called Spiritual Happy Hour your weekly dose of vitamin B. So, Adironda, that's vitamin B-E. We're going to share a little information about forgiveness and how it truly is, as Adironda likes to say, just another F word.
You know, I love F words.
I know you do.
I absolutely do. And there are loads of great F words, like frequency. I love frequency because that's what we teach people how to do, is raise their frequency during the Channelers Academy. You know, another great F word, I have to show you about this one because it takes a special pose. Another great F word is fuerte. Fuerte. I mean, when you assume the pose, it makes a big difference. In Spanish, it means a situation in which a person actually excels or has more knowledge or skills at something. It can also mean strong. Now, while I was looking for the definition of fuerte, I found forte, and that is also a fabulous word. It means a person's strong suit or highly developed characteristics, talents, or skills. Fabulous, of course, is also a fantastic word. And then there's also finances, which has many meanings and throws a lot of people into a lot of different emotions. Actually, we are all probably asking for freedom in our finances. I mean, did you ever think about your favorite words? I think I was left on my own a lot as a child. And in that capacity, I had a lot of favorite words. And F words are some of my favorites. I have 3 personal favorites. 1, feedback. 2, forgiveness. And 3, freedom. And you know what? They all kind of lead into each other. Feedback actually happens when you receive information from someone or even yourself about something that you feel you did or did not do. A lot of times you might think that feedback is also criticism. I mean, you know, you have positive or negative feedback, which is really just our own judgment that makes it positive or negative. Feedback is still just information. Like in electronics, when you get a microphone too close to the speaker, you get feedback, right? Information, step away from the speaker. So basically, information is there to provide you with a greater advantage to any given situation. Another great F word, which I didn't mention earlier, is failure. Have you ever felt like a failure or like you failed miserably at something? I know, I certainly have. When I think of the situations where I felt like a failure, that's when I really need to forgive myself. And according to Adironda, there's absolutely no such thing as failure. There's just feedback. And feedback is what you learn about yourself or someone else with any given situation comes up that makes it change in the future, right? Feedback. I was chatting with some friends the other day about our subject today, which is forgiveness, and I said something about, well, forgiveness is just another F word. They all laughed, and I thought, well, that's a good title. You know, we all chuckled a bit, and then we described forgiveness or lack thereof. And one of the things that we talked about was that the lack of forgiveness will actually stop you at every single corner, every single big decision, every single place in your life. If you really can't forgive something, then you're stopped in your tracks. One of my friends, who I put in the wild, wise woman category, she describes forgiveness or lack of forgiveness as an indigestible morsel. What a beautiful phrase. Indigestible morsel. In other words, a situation that was so horrible that you couldn't digest it, which means you couldn't forgive it. I mean, just like an animal. If an animal eats something they can't actually digest, like a bone, it will actually kill them. Lack of forgiveness can do the same thing to you. I mean, we teach a workshop. Actually, it's called a plurk shop. Play plus work equals plurk, right? Everything is possible. And one of the sections in it is on forgiveness. I mean, the way we talk about it in the discussion, we talk about how it can really block you from your dreams, can really stop you from living the life that you will love. I mean, people that have attended the workshop in the past, because it's great to do it multiple events, multiple times, they actually dread that part because they know what's going to happen. They know that we're going to ask them to look inward. And spiritual people are actually the worst at looking deep inside for forgiveness. You know, they have a tendency to gloss over, we have a tendency to gloss over any difficult situation, argument, betrayal, challenge, to remain in that Zen place, right? Spiritual people are really bad at that. They always want to be in the Zen place. But according to A Course in Miracles, this in the workbook, lesson 121, it says forgiveness is the key to happiness. It says, and it describes unforgiveness in a difficult way. I mean, while I was reading it, I had to take a deep breath, so you might have to too. It says, and I'm going to read this, the unforgiving mind is full of fear and offers love no room for itself or no room to be itself. No place where it can spread its wings in peace and soar above the turmoil of the world. The unforgiving mind is sad, without hope of respite and release from pain. It suffers and abides in misery, peering about in darkness, seeing not, yet certain danger is lurking there. The unforgiving mind is in despair, without the prospect of the future, which can offer anything but more despair. It thinks it cannot change, for what it sees bears witness that its judgment is correct. Let me read that again. It thinks it cannot change, for what it sees bears witness that its judgment is correct. Phew! Is that a dismal picture or what? I mean, that's really intense. That is the foundation for nearly all illness, disease, imbalance. While you can acknowledge the travesties, seeming injustices or betrayals in your life or others, then quite honestly, they are there for forgiveness. When you forgive it, things change. Without forgiving it, the emotion still festers right there, turning into disease or complications that will affect your life and your choices. You see, forgiveness or lack thereof is like having a bone stuck in your digestive system. Nothing good will ever come from it. We all know that there are people we need to forgive. I mean, you know, that's obvious. Some situations of forgiveness might be like your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, somebody that has wronged you in the world. the kid that betrayed you in the 7th grade and told lies about you and made fun of you, your 1st grade teacher that called you out over something you did or did not do, that rapist that took away your childhood, the best friend that moved away because their dad got a better job, the murderer who changed your life forever because they murdered your child or your friend or your neighbor, the argument that you had with someone even though both of you were convinced that you each were right, or yourself for making the decision to go into that destructive relationship. Really, whatever. Now, please note that I purposely included examples that some might consider little trivial stuff and some that would be considered life-changing. You see, all things must be forgiven. All things are life-changing. Even the feedback that you got from someone in your childhood when they said you didn't do something right and you took that in and thought, oh, I never do something right. It changes your personality. So maybe you're constantly trying to please people. You're constantly saying yes to people for fear of making them angry. But that's another topic. Big or small, those indigestible morsels still have the same impact on you and those around you. You see, some of those morsels that you carry around with you because you still react to them whenever you enter into any kind of a relationship or situation. You know, like when you come into a relationship, it feels challenging because it's triggering something from your past. And you still haven't forgotten that or forgiven that. And then you have a tendency to pick relationships with people that may not be emotionally available. And they're not emotionally available because they didn't forgive something in their past, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you get the idea, right? Eckhart Tolle says, and talks about this in his book, The Power of Now. He says, we react to life now based on the paradigm or programs that we had as a kid. And we choose to let those situations continue to be indigestible, or we can forgive all that are involved and move on. Because unless you are willing to forgive all the people, all the situations, they will continue to affect your judgment and the judgment of people around you. You know that. Whether they are big or small, any of those morsels that you are still carrying with you are like something stuck deep inside of you. Your logical mind knows this. It knows you must get rid of it. Your physical body knows it too, that you must forgive every situation, every person, whatever. Well, forgiveness, or the lack thereof, creates even more toxicity in your life than old habits. Yes, we know that. Yet we simply can't seem to get there. Do you ever feel that way? We can't seem to get that indigestible morsel out and digest it through forgiveness. Now, we all know that not forgiving keeps you a victim, keeps you in victim consciousness. We all know that forgiveness will release you from the physical, mental, emotional toxicity that has poisoned you. We all know that when we forgive, we take back our power from the blame, shame, or guilt game, and we open ourselves to our own personal ability to take responsibility for and truly get feedback from what has been perceived as an unforgivable situation. Then we become fuerte, strong. Forgiveness is not just a religious concept. It is the practice of releasing toxins and the perceived beliefs that produce something so strong in your system that it's like the same as a poisonous venom. There are 2 requirements for forgiveness. 1, forgive others no matter what. And 2, forgive yourself no matter what. In reality, all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. You know that when you carry anger toward another, even to any degree, you are only harming yourself. You are also harming your neighbor, your friend, and God, love, because we are all one. By not forgiving, you are accelerating that harmful poison in yourself and all others. When you keep repeating thoughts over and over and over again, and feelings of blame, betrayal, injustice, anger, it produces a chemical toxin in your brain. Scientifically proven, you cannot function optimally when you have that chemical toxin in your brain in a world of love. Now, there are all kinds of affirmations and things that you can do. One of my favorites came from Michael Bernard Beckwith. Now, breathe into this as I repeat it. I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to just kind of breathe in, and if you want, you can repeat it with me or after me. Take a deep breath. I take responsibility for my actions, and I forgive all that I have knowingly or unknowingly done to hurt myself and other individuals. I release myself from the bondage of unforgiveness. I am free. Guilt, shame, and blame are now neutralized, which will saturate my heart. I begin afresh in this world, free. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, seriously, guilt has no transformational value. Shame has no transformational value. Blame has no transformational value. The only thing that has transformational value is that pesky little F word, forgiveness. Forgiveness in love. It doesn't mean that you have to saddle up with someone that has used or abused you. It doesn't mean that you have to give them permission to be your new best friend. Nor does it mean that you have a way of denial or bypass the pain or not feel it or bring that betrayal to you. What it means is that you understand that many times humans simply act out of ignorance. Once you truly forgive, the thoughts about this situation or that situation will have no effect on you. But how do you forgive? I'm going to give you a 6-step technique that will help you resolve that indigestible morsel. If you want, you can write it down. I mean, know that that indigestible morsel is indeed digestible using this 6-step technique. 1, give yourself permission to feel the way you feel, and then, if you can, set a time limit on it. 2, stop telling the story to yourself or others about all the perceived injustices that you experienced. 3, have the willingness to forgive. The statement, I am willing to forgive this, actually wills it into place. And I am willing to forgive myself about this, and this. Repeat those phrases 1,000 times a day until you feel that energy release. 4, be willing to see things from another perspective. Remember, there's 2 sides to every story. 5, have a deep understanding that this person, this situation, showed up in your life to teach you forgiveness and give gratitude for them. And 6, now this one, when you can do this, you will know that you have actually forgiven them or forgiven yourself. A very wise person told me this once. Pray for their happiness. That's when you know, when you can actually pray for their happiness and for your own happiness, then you know that you've forgiven them. Those 6 steps will set you free, which comes to my next favorite word, freedom. And that will set you free, make room for the happiness in your life, and that your life may be lacking, maybe not, but it is going to improve your digestion. So during this next week, I would like you to spend a few minutes just asking yourself, is there some person or situation that I really must forgive? Is there something that I really want to look deeper at? And use this 6-step technique to shift your feelings about that. And I'll give it to you one more time. 1, feel your feelings. 2, stop telling the story about all the drama. 3, have the willingness to forgive. 4, be willing to see things from another perspective. 5, be grateful that they showed up to teach you forgiveness. 6, pray for their happiness and your own happiness, and that way you know that you have forgiven them. Now, you may wonder why I didn't use 9 because 9 is the energy of completion. I know, I'm into the numbers, right? Double digitology, right? I used 6 specifically because 6 is the number of giving birth to a new idea. 6 is also the number of harmony, which leads directly to freedom. A nice F word. Namaste.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All those thoughts will carry us through a brief intermission, I believe, after which Adirondack and the Council of Light might have a message for everybody. What do you think?
Maybe. Ah, so it is good day to you, huh? Very good to see your light, your brightness, your divine presence. Good day to you, good day to you, good day to you, good day to each and every one of you. With that energy, as you're coming through, know that you are the light of this planet Earth. You are one of the brightest lights in this galaxy. You are that connective form that connects the dots. You are the line in the universe. So as you are, we ask you to understand and know that every frequency that you are feeling, there's a couple of F words for you. Every frequency that you are feeling is coming through in your field, is acknowledging that energy in your brain, in your heart, in your center, in a 26-foot span of energy. So when you are carrying something around in your heart that is anger or frustration or some travesty or betrayal, and you think, oh, if I could only get revenge. Revenge is thine, saith love, yes? And to know that revenge does nothing. It only creates revenge on you. When you are angry at something, and you know the only person that you are being affected by it is you. The other person probably doesn't care at all. So all forgiveness is your forgiveness. And the interesting thing is it pops up in the most unusual of ways. Truly. We want to tell you a little story about someone that we asked permission if we could tell it today. And they said, yes, you can, as long as you don't use our name. So we will tell it to you. Because it was something that this person is a true spiritual leader. This person has dealt with forgiveness and taught the forgiveness and shared the energy of it and worked in a depth of their soul to look at those dark places. And yet, when they were speaking with someone else, and this person says, well, have you forgiven that situation, which was indeed a travesty. There's no doubt. It was up there in the big ones, yes? A big deal. They said, oh, yes, we've forgiven it. Yes, oh, yes, not a problem. And then that person, the other person in the conversation, asked, well, have you prayed for their happiness? And, well, the original person stuttered a bit and said, well, I've prayed for destruction of them. That is not their happiness. So, you see, that is why we are looking deep into your soul and asking you to do the same thing. Because even the most spiritual of people, if they harbor some ancient 20, 30, 40-year-old anger, it still becomes indigestible and creates physical, mental, and emotional challenges. So stop it. Simple as that. Look into the dark corners of your soul. See where they are. Take that into meditation. Go into that theta state of meditation and ask, show me who I still get to forgive. Show me the way. Show me what to do. And love will show you. Love will connect with you. Love never leaves you, no matter what. So please, we ask you, you are in evolutionary times. You are in the times of the new dimensional frequency on this planet. It takes all of the light plerikers on this planet to revive love as the way of life. Please, we ask you to remember who you are. But by remembering who you are, that does not mean that you're dredging up all of those situations unless they are the ones that have not been forgiven. And you will know that you have actually forgiven that situation if you can pray for happiness to come to you, with you, through you, from you, and for the same for all of those that are involved. It seems like a simple thing, huh? You understand that we know that many times our vessel Marilyn is much of a jokester and tells lots of fun stories. However, this is still a serious episode. This is still about you and your evolutionary path. You know we love you so much. You know that we wish for you to be able to hold your hand out and manifest, create whatever is your heart's desire. You know that is possible. We know that is possible. But one of the stoppers can be the lack of forgiveness, the lack. So we implore you to be the love that you already are, means to allow those things that are not love to fall away. Please do that. Please hold in your energy that every single person on this planet return to love. Return to the place that never left them. Return to the frequency of freedom. For that is the truth of love. We honor you. We know you. We see you. We are with you always. And we bid you namaste. Namaste.